Right now, for these next 2 hours, we are a team, no matter how long you choose to be with us. But right now, we are a team already. Here's a team of age-working women. Thank you. Sonia, do you have the first line?
Yes, it's about the purpose of being here, which is women have usually as a survival strategy to play small and to hide away. And this goes all into several areas of women's lives. The purpose is to go through those layers and find your spark. What is it that you're burning for? Are you aware of that? Do you already have that spark that you see and you know, I'm going to go there. That's where I want to go. And the purpose is to have this held space for you to go through whatever shows up, to bring forth your creations, what you want to bring out in the world and deliver your non-material value. And this time with women empowering each other along the way. Instead of being alone and dealing with it on your own and trying to be strong or to push through or to just give up. This is about being on each other's side as moving wherever you want to move.
And that means also really finding these feminine ways that are waiting to come through you. As Sonia said, when you stop pushing, when you stop trying to be someone or do a great project and then you can't follow through because it's actually not what you're burning for. That's also part of being together as women in a culture which is, this team is rooted in Next Women's culture. And that means it's a radical collaboration space. It's a space of finding out how does it go to do things, like this territory is new. How does it go to bring your project to life in a feminine way, in a truly feminine way that empowers you, that brings your project to life and that nurtures you, that also has an energy flow in you.
I'd like to open the space now for questions that you may have about the creations team, comments, sharings, where you're at with your project. Do you know what your project is? What brought you here today?
I want to go first. I will go first because it's so alive in me. As most of you know, I've been building this Radically Alive Women's Heartquarters creation and recording studio in which I'm sitting right now. And it emerged from my necessity a few months ago that I realized in order to create my podcast, which is an Hcast, I need a space to sit in. And so I wanted to build something on a land that's not mine. I don't own it. And without having funds to build something and having other necessities in the group of with a group of people that I live with. Like we need more other buildings first. And Millicent is part of my team here in person, and there was one really key moment where she just said, like, Julia, just jump. This is your necessity. Just go for it. And it really dropped in me that my necessity has wisdom for my creation. And so I just went for it, and I started a fundraiser, and I started also looking at the services I'm already bringing to the world. What can I create to gather the funds to build the building? And I just started. And what I realized through this was that I was actually continuously called into my evolution also, or applying all the tools that I already have. But if I ran into a money scarcity topic, that's where I had to go through. And I'm not through it, but I am like several steps down the road, and I'm fascinated by the magic that emerged from that and how it shapes me. And I'm here to share my learnings and also take the next steps. So I want to see how far this can be taken and how far I can take this. And also having a committed team of women together is something I've been longing for my whole life. And then when a month ago, Sonia and we decided we'll make a work talk on women creating abundance. It was just so inspiring. It's like, oh, here's a collaborator I would love to do something with. I would love to work with Sonia and have her clarity in the space, and so that's what I'm here for, to learn from you, with you, and share also what I've already learned. So being really on this radical research together.
Thank you, Julia.
I notice I feel my sadness hearing you speak, Julia, because I'm so touched by being with you on this journey of everything that's happened for you to be able to be there right now, holding space with Sonia for this creation journey. And yeah, it's magic and powerful, and I'm really, my words aren't really present, but I'm really touched by having been close to the heartbeat of this process. And my project that's burning in me is that I'd love to hold space for young people in the local town to write. And I want a team. I want a team to support me in making that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Millicent.
I want to go next. I came into the space with heartbreak, and this is what is alive for me. Is like how to build bridges for connection, for love, how to bring scared hearts, wounded hearts into connection, how to go beyond. And for me, what is mostly alive is to create physical spaces where that can happen, where people can be together, and come together, and go beyond the barriers of culture or money, or a place where we feel welcome despite yeah, despite all the beliefs and judgments and heartbreaking they went through their lives. And yeah, there's not so much words at the moment, but I need a team to go and to do that, and that's what brought me here, to just use all these feelings and get to work instead of staying stuck. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Katerina, will you share your heartbreak with the team now? Because this is the culture here in this space.
Two weeks or 3 weeks ago, I met someone that brought me this heart-opening sensation, with whom I felt safe, with whom I felt seen. And since then, there's this big roller coaster of going beyond the fear that comes with a heart opening. And I have the story that is the same for him, but it is not there yet or is, I don't know, yeah.
I would invite
I
you
want
to stay with the feeling and just say, I feel, and just share what you feel to start with. Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, I feel.
Oh.
I feel very sad that that there's no opening for meeting again and connect with what we feel. I feel sad that I see the confusion in him, and I feel sad that I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to love. I don't know what to get through, and I realize that I can't be alone in building the bridge. And it's frustrating, but deeply sad at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what to answer after his message of saying that he doesn't. We had a meeting yesterday and he ended up not answer or not saying when we could meet, and in the evening he told me that he's not recognizing himself. There's just something that is disturbing him, and he blocks him, and he doesn't know what is, but he doesn't know what to do about it. And I feel like, wow, fuck, am I disturbing? Am I don't know. It's, yeah, it's sad.
Thank you, Katerina. And I invite you to, after this session, to find someone to hold space for your grieving.
Yeah.
And to allow yourself to feel what you are feeling. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
I am I am going through a parallel journey with Yulia about scarcity and how am I sourcing scarcity, and how can I source what I want to create. It's becoming more and more clear for me that women are a big part of the things that I want to create. I deeply care about women and I want to empower women. This moves me to the bone. There's something that has been showing up more and more, which is this love for creating game worlds. And I want to create a bridge house for people to come and build inner structure, to stay after trainings, to not go directly to wherever they were meant to go, and essentially be together and have this transition place to hold the culture where people want to live in. And this is what I'm bringing into this space. How do I create that? How do I source that bridge house? How do I source the resources, the context? How do I keep it alive in me? And also, if I change my mind about something, how do I change my mind and not be in this rigid place where I cannot turn? I have to keep on going. Yeah, and this is why I'm here with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go next. So I don't have a defined project, and I can feel that I feel fear about that. But I know that I was drawn to this space for a reason, and I can feel my sadness coming already about why I'm here, which is to have a team that is committed to each other and brought alive by creating. I have that spark in me of I just come alive with ideas, and I come alive with thinking of possibilities, and I have stopped there and stopped at an idea and not created and hidden many of or a lot of my clarity around what exactly brings me alive, because I just think that my mental body will come in, my intellectual body will come in and say all these things or all these other things and all these other things, but yeah, I know that there's, if I want the space to find what that aliveness is, what that thing is that fires up my body, and I can feel it. Speaking of creation, I can feel it. And so being here today is to see what the space, the purpose of the space is, and to be with you all, because I love that so much. I just have so much joy being with you all and seeing what unfolds.
Thank you, Briar.
Thank you, Briar.
It seems that creation is what turns you on.
Yes.
Mm. Thank you, Brian.
I can go next. So I'm Dominique and I live in Melbourne, Australia. And a little bit like Bra, I don't have an absolute defined kind of project that has materiality to it. But I definitely have a project in terms of things that I want to change for myself and what the result I want to be, which is I want to become more independent. I become more of my own woman, my adult. And I know a lot of PM work is about that. But there's something about, there's a lot of things that I do to stop myself from getting to the place where I want to be and stop myself from even knowing what that is. And the word that comes through, I just want to smash through those barriers and, find my own authority, find my authenticity as an adult, finally, if it's possible. And when I kind of read the project and the chat with Julia, I got a really good feeling about being a group of women supporting each other. And my experience with women has not always been very good. And I feel that is something that really needs to change. I mean, my thinking about evolution is that women got to lead the way and change things. I can refine that thinking. I was seriously betrayed by my mother, and there's something about within that. There's something about intimacy and vulnerability, which I found really difficult to show that, especially in front of women. I'm quite good at crying in front of men. In front of women, it's harder. I mean, I do, but I feel like anyway, I could say a lot about that. So it's very much about creating that structure for myself. Now I've got some ideas of kind of what sort of creative project I want to go towards, but I feel like there is a lot of different things I could be doing. And certainly one of my passion is earth, and wanting to create structure where people empower themselves so that they look after their mother. So as I speak, I find that interesting that I'm talking about my mother and I'm talking about the mother and I'm talking about women. So it's a bit kind of jungled, it's a little bit mixed. I'm also an artist, so, but I haven't really kind of, I'm not really practicing. And yeah, so it's a bit confused, but I know that kind of what I want to find is my freedom within all that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique. Have you seen the website Radical Freedom?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
I don't think so.
I'm going to share the link afterwards. This may be something that could interest you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, so there's no space left to hide. So I will start at last. I feel fear in a way because of my unclarity and not knowing what I will say. And I must say I was drawn to the space because creation is something I dedicated my life to creativity, and worked as a screenplay writer and a lot in teams, and creating is my passion. But for a long time, I did not realize that I put myself to service, but my deepest self or something was not even there. So I went on a kind of deep journey, and still am, to find out who is my true self. And what Sonia said in the very beginning, this hiding, I never hide it in this other way, but my real self was well protected and never seen. And I did a lot of, work and things. So now I'm very much in touch with it. And it is so different from everything before. And my desire is, how would it be to create from that place? How to create from that deep, being myself, being 100% responsible for myself, having 100% self-love, and all the feelings that belong to that. And how would I create from that place? Or is it just being like that, the creation itself? This is a question I ask myself right now. Yeah, but I have also things in mind what I could do, but I don't want to rush it, because I don't want to do it the way I did it before. It's not even working. When I wanted doing it the way before, I get pain in the back, and all. So I'm kind of following the path together with life in a way. It is so different in structure and everything. So to say it in your terms, it would be maybe being in the liquid state. Yeah. Yeah. This is what I want to say.
Can you say, how was it that you used to create? You just share that when you go into that place again, you have back pain and it's not working. Would you say more about that?
Yeah, I can. I think it has to do that I don't share many of the values with these creations anymore. The people I worked with, and it's the film industry, and it has a lot of to do with romantic love and all this kind of things. And I realized that I don't want to be part of that anymore. Okay, writing for children is a little bit different, but yeah.
Thank you, it's clear.
And it's interesting that I think it's not by accident that I recently I'm coming in contact with a part in me, a deep sadness of not being seen as myself, but also as a always projection. And yeah, so I think that is not by accident.
Would you let the sadness be here? It seemed like it was there, and then you smiled, and it sort of went away.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to.
It's just like totally vanishing, like imploding. and disappearing. And it's scary and hopeless to find a way out. And it's so dark and lonely. Mm. Mm, like there is no door, nothing. Wow. Yeah.
Sounds like a really great doorway for healing. Like that's already the starting point for a healing process. That would
I know, yeah.
be great. Yeah. Would be great to go through. Are you part of the EHP collaboration group, or I mean that's also a process that you could bring to an EHP dojo within this group?
Mm.
Do you already write down in your beat book, at the end of your beat book, EHPs or something that come up for you? Do you have
Things
that?
that come up from that?
What's that?
Can you say this again, please, Julia?
If you have a beat book, a book where you write down your research, you could put. Do you have a page at the end where you note down if EHPs come up for you? Do you do
Yeah,
that? Yeah?
yeah, collected, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that would be one that you could put there and then also bring here into an EHP dojo within this
Yeah.
group.
Mhm. And I want to say, because it's a creation group, just to give you an idea, my desire is to live in a world where we are connected and where we yeah, radical can relate and be ourselves at the same time. And I do a lot of research in with metamorphosis, how metamorphosis works from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And I found different stages, which could be rooms to go through. And I would, in a way, love to create these rooms as safe spaces of exploring together, maybe even further than you are right now, how special stages feel and how one follows the other. And yeah, really using playful tools also, like impro theater and things like that. Yeah, just things I are wonderful to play with, together. So this is an idea.
I think it's great that you say how stages feel, how the different stages feel. And stage is a stage in transformation, but it's also a stage for a movie set, right? Or for theater. So,
Yeah, and it can be a safe space where you can explore.
yeah, I get that. Thank you. Sounds exciting. As I heard you speak, all of you, what came like something I want to add to my check-in is that I have also this information in me, and that it's time for women to go first in a new way of leadership, and where it's just no more waiting, no more excusing anything that doesn't work, and going beyond and creating. Really, women are such creatresses. We're wired for creation. Our bodies are wired to create life, and we're wired to create all sorts of life in terms of projects. And it doesn't mean only physical life, and that is such a force. And women that don't create consciously, they create unconsciously. Like I've been creating a lot unconsciously in my life, and what the results are visible out there. Unconscious creation create patriarchy, create scarcity, create toxic relationships, create money scarcity. And woman is archetypally everything. We are connected to everything. And it puzzles me that so many women are in money scarcity, including myself when I go to that place. It just doesn't fit. And
What is
I
that feeling, Julia?
feel angry about that. And there's also some sadness, but I mostly in fear. But my anger tells me it's time to create something different. It's time to collaborate, to heal what needs to be healed. It's not about saying you're a bad person for creating what you're creating. It's more about how much energy goes into that, and what if that energy was used for creating that what you're here for. Now, how much energy each one of us has used in her lifetime to stay small, to play along, to be reasonable, to be the good girl, to be loved, to be accepted. And all of that energy we can learn to use and transform and create this and build out next culture. Build out projects that are connected to Gaia, that are connected to everything, because we are connected to everything. And essentially that is, I'm so glad also, Sonia, about like your commitment that I heard in a work, one of the work talks was, I'm here to bring back the witches. And that is really alive in me, because it's about bringing back the magic. Each woman has a magic in her. And that is her, whatever, that's to be distilled also as a team, to make it real close to your heart. I've had so many commitments in my life, and I've followed through, and I pushed myself to follow through with this commitment. And then I would burn out, because it wasn't actually a commitment from my heart, from my womb, from my being. It was a commitment to be someone. It was a commitment to be viewed as a successful person. And I can now tell what it feels like when a commitment is really in me, and it has nothing to do with my mind, and my mind can support me to really follow through. But there's no pushing. It's more this force, letting the force come through. And so I get it's more about taking away that which we have put in the way to fit in. Now everything is already here. It's let's take that away, which we've put in the way to not be dangerous, to not be burnt as witches, to not be attacked for being a dangerous woman or a crazy person or unreasonable. So yeah, that's really alive in me.
Mm. Mm.
Karina, did you want to speak?
I raised my hand to say that I relate with what Julia was saying, and I also want to speak. It resonated, something that you said, Julia, and I wanted to add into my sharing, is that a huge blockage that I do feel is actually the fear about this purpose that I have, like along many HPs that I've done. What the thing that comes along all the time is that I can't do it. It's too big. And I'm in a journey now to relate to this past life of mine where I was a Qatari and like part of this. And what I've been finding out is that anger back then killed us all, killed all my tribe. And back then I already had as a mission to say that the way out, the way to live was love, was connect to love, and so I have this strong story that anger is not good, and I want to, and anger actually would have served me back then to bring out my message. So I want to rewrite that story, and at the same time I want to be really careful with how I use my anger and how I use my anger to bring my project to life. So yeah, it's I have this story that is our women unconscious anger that is feeding patriarchy, and so it's really, yeah, it's really important for me that I learn how to use the anger, and I can also do that with other women, and get to know better that anger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Welcome, Aurora.
Welcome, Aurora.
And Katerina, the thing about anger is that without the anger, there is no creation.
Mm-hmm.
Anger builds the base in which all the rest can move. When you speak, even if there's sadness, it's anger that's fueling the speaking. When you get up from your chair, it's anger that you feel in your body. When you pick up something from the floor, it's anger that allows you to go down there and then come back up. And one of the ways that women play small is to be afraid of their own anger. And that makes total sense because men are stronger. And in showing fear and using the fear to protect oneself, it has been working for a very long time. But without the anger, no creation is possible. There's no place where the fear that sources the ideas, the intuition, can grab onto if there is no anger. And this is something really strong that I see happening in women, is that there's this very ancient memory of being hunted and murdered and burned. And the access to the fear is there unconscious, but the real access to it, to its power and to the energetic body is like it's a blind spot. And it's like Yulia was saying, we are creating unconsciously, believing that we are not creating. And this is part of wakening up the witches, is to become aware of you being a creator at all time. Even if you're not aware, the results that you're having is you that is sourcing them. It's no one else. And it's not about punishing yourself or beating yourself up or being a victim of it. It is your power. It's what you are. And you cannot help it because you are a woman and you are alive and you are a witch. And therefore you are a creatress and you are sourcing that all the time. And the invitation is for you to source that consciously, to take it back, to grab it and do it and go for it and discover whatever it is, even if you don't know what is that you want to create. This is the place to ask the questions, to discover what turns you on, and to You have these other women that are here looking at you and saying, I'm seeing this in you. Why is it that you're not seeing that? This is what I see. Because it has been a long time believing in this bullshit thing of, I cannot do it, or it's too big for me. That's bullshit. And for this, you need your anger. And then your fear and the sadness that will come and oil up all of them together. And with your joy, you're going to bring it out into the world and inspire people. And this is magic. It's alchemy. And it starts with feeling and inner navigation. And then it's alchemy. It's through feelings that you create and that you bring magic into the world.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Aurora, we are sharing where we are in our journey and what brought us here in the space. What is it that we want to create or discover, or if there are any questions? And would you bring yourself into the space?
Yes. What am I creating? Why am I here? I'm here because I am on a journey to step into my archetypal lineage, my full potential, to journey with my anger and my fear, and I've been giving up on myself too much and falling into doubt, and I'm constantly building different teams and, you know, to support me on this phase of my journey to stand in my power as a coach, as a space holder, and yeah, I need a strong team to do that. Like, not to keep trying to do that, like, and failing, or yeah, to falling away, but to really stick to it and to be committed. And in some ways, like, the commitment has always been there and I always come back to it, but and yeah, yet there's a deeper relationship with my anger and fear and gremlin, yeah, that I want to keep growing in.
You.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And when I heard you speak, Sonia, earlier, I was reminded, like, part of becoming part of this team means that we get to apply our swords of clarity with each other. You know, it's like when you're calling out bullshit, this in service for the woman. Like, here you are telling yourself, bullshit, this is not true. How come? Like, what's in the way? To be on each other's team with swords. And I mean, I've been on my journey with that, where, yeah, I've had my training of using my sword really to chop off heads, and that's not what I mean. It's the sword for your commitment. You know, being on a team is also committing to the other people's commitments in a way, or I am, as a space holder, definitely committing to your commitments. And that would mean that I'll have my sword. I'll have my sword to also say what I see and be on your team, that you don't fool yourself, that you get to connect and connect and connect and let that other stuff fall away. And to help be in connection with reality. I sort of touched upon that before, but as long as you're not in touch with reality, with where you are at, your creation cannot grip. It's like running, like trying to go full speed in water with your wheels, or wheels in the air. They can't grip. So it's about also having this sort of clarity for where are you really at? What is the next thing? You know, that means slaying fantasies, maybe, for the purpose of, hey, and there's a real art between having a bigger, like being connected to your archetypal lineage, being connected to your purpose, being connected to your bright principles, which will be part of distilling if you don't have it, like to encourage you to really connect with these resources that are bigger than you. And then there is, actually, I'm stealing that from Millicent. She made me aware of that. It's like, you can't even make it big enough. You know, your being is huge, and you're here for, let's say you are here for a huge purpose. You have a big mission on this planet in this lifetime, else you wouldn't be here. This is a fabulous time to be alive as a woman, because a few hundred years ago, we would have been killed for meeting like we are now in person, because the technology wouldn't have been there, but we would have been, cast out for that, like for real. And now we're in a time where this is no longer the case. So you have a big mission already. And in a way, it's having this big picture, but also having it really close. Like right now, this macro and micro perspective, it shows the way, it shows the way you say hello to your loved ones. Or the way you read the newspaper, or the way you don't read it, or the way you interact with your animals. It shows in your everyday actions already. So it's not a mysterious, far away thing. It is already here. So bringing it really close to, okay, there are things in the way for you to acknowledge it, to see it. You're confusing yourself, or you're hiding it from yourself, what you are here for maybe, or what your project exactly is, then to take these layers away. So I'm coming back to what I said before. In the stance between your bigger purpose, your purpose, and how it shows up in every moment, and where you are at with that, so that your project, your creation can grip and can actually gain momentum and move through you.
Another thing that is coming up is that you will be holding a question constantly, which is, what is the purpose for me doing this right now? When you wake up, why are you waking up? Why are you putting your feet on the floor and walking to the bathroom or to the kitchen? Why? What's the purpose of that? And becoming more and more aware that you are a woman with a capital W. And when you walk, you are walking as the source of creation. And this is the purpose of that question. And you keep on asking yourself that, and you start wakening up this part of you that fell asleep and that's somehow frozen by the fear of dying again, of being killed. And it's about being sacred. It's about being sacred and arrogant about it. It's about having this indignation of, I don't have what I want in my life, or better, I'm creating this and this is not what I really want. And shifting, because you move more and more into this place of, I am entitled. And I know I am. And it's walking through your daily life. When you go to the bathroom and you sit on your toilet and carrying this question, there's not a moment where this wavers and you go, oh, I'm just a woman. No, you're not just a woman. You are a woman. You are the woman. And having this fire burning when you look at the woman you cross on the street or in this meeting, in this team, like prior, I look at you and I see this huge fountain of creativity, of abundance, like it's just about to burst. And this is what I want. I want you to go through life being this fucking fountain. And whatever you're touching and doing, you are bringing that abundance and creation to where you are, because it's impossible not to be who you are. And each one of you having this thing when you look at another woman and just, I see this in you. Stop fooling yourself. And having the same back. And keep on nourishing yourself and having a space to grieve and allow the heartbreak to be there and die and be reborn time and time again, because this is what we are born to do, because we are women.
Why don't we do that now? We're going to breakout rooms.
Yes.
Was that what you're going to propose? Cool. Then I set the breakout rooms and you set the context.
Where I'm with, I'll be with you in a minute. I'm just going to a
Okay.
bio break.
Okay.
Okay. So it will work in pairs. Yes. So you will go into breakout rooms in pairs. And person A, you will just be this person who will look at person B and you will just connect with what she is. She already is what you're seeing. There's nothing to do, nothing to change. And you will be speaking into that. And you are going to say what you are seeing. And you'll be using your sword of clarity. So if there's bullshit that you're seeing, you bring it into the space, to the being of that woman that you are speaking to. And you'll do the heart-to-heart connection, because this is about being close to where she is. It's not about, as Yuli was sharing, it's not about cutting her head off. It's about landing in her, where she is, what you are seeing, and make it visible for her. And my proposal is to go for about 4 minutes per person. What do you think, Julia?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then shift, and person A becomes person B.
Okay, so
and you do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Just for Dominique. So will you say it for Dominique?
Yes, Dominic, we'll go into breakout rooms in pairs. And person A will be talking with person B and saying, what is it that you are seeing that she's not seeing? And she already is that. You'll be using your clarity to land in her these qualities of her being for 4 minutes, and then you'll change, and person A becomes person B. Do you have any questions before going into the breakout rooms?
I'm telling the person I'm with what I see in them, even though I don't know them. Is what you're saying?
Exactly.
So you look with your heart, and it's like a being appreciation, and you're making a declaration about this other woman from what you know in your being about her, even without knowing, which is even better if you don't know the woman, because then your stories about the woman don't get in the way. The connection is already here. So trust that which comes through and let it speak. Okay, I'm opening the rooms, and after 4 minutes, I will indicate the time change, and then you swap. Okay.
And Julia, will you make me co-host so that I can go into the breakout rooms? I don't know if I
I think
already am.
You already are,
Okay.
and I put us also into breakout rooms, so we could go in or we could stay out. What's your preference?
I'd like to go into the other breakout rooms.
Okay, then I recreate. So we'll go around and you get to be with each other. Okay. Okay, then just don't accept the invitation that you are receiving, Sonia.
Okay. Thank you.
Keep breathing, and feelings are welcome. You can feel glad, sad, mad, scared, all of it. Anything to share from what you heard or experienced?
I notice this opening up of me. It's like relaxing into myself and feel glad.
I noticed my heart opening and warm, and at the same time tension in my shoulders, as again the story that it's too hard to be what people see in me.
What's the feeling in heart, Katarina?
Fear.
Because
I failed in the past. Because my love didn't allow to save my people. And it's too hard to just imagine that it's not even about me dying, it's about other people dying. And I can't even see what like see things in people and dare to say what I see in them, because I'm afraid to just, what if I'm wrong, or if I'm saying something that is not okay and that I'm hurting, and it's always about hurting others, and so I hide, and that's, yeah. But I'm here for that. I'm here for going over that.
Have you used that as a doorway for an emotional healing process? This fear of hurting others?
Not specifically, but it came out in some other ways. Still, yeah.
This is the next layer of this big thing that you are diving into.
Yeah, thank you. I will get my notebook now.
What me really hit and opened was when I heard, you know what Gaia is feeling. And yes, I do. And it's not easy. So, yeah. To don't play small, but to step into that and let me move by let me be moved by it even more and see what comes out of that. Yeah.
Is that your connection to Gaia? That it?
Again, please.
When you say be yourself, be moved by it, and see what comes out of it, are you meaning the connection to Gaia, the feeling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I mean the connection to being part of I'm part of Gaia. Gaia is not outside of me. I'm this, and all this, you know, starting another war. This, it's also how to move in that, how to be that, how to do my contribution of staying in inner peace and not participate in that game, you know, that is somehow at the moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Felt like for me it was like too easy to deflect or dull what I was hearing about me. Like I wanted to hide or be angry at being seen, yeah, in my vulnerabilities, or yeah.
Aurora, was this happening inside of you and you were noticing it? Or were you speaking while deflecting?
No, when I was listening, I was noticing it inside of me.
Okay.
It's something that I've noticed, and I think you know that also, Aurora, is that it's easier to believe ourselves the shit stories we have about ourselves. Or if people are, tell us how, or, we've internalized. I mean, who here grew up being told, like, you're such a powerful girl. You want to be an artist? Go be an artist. You can do this. You want to be a dancer? Go be a dancer. You can do this. Whatever you want, you can do this. You're a force of nature. You are Gaia in a body form. You are connected to the earth, and the earth loves you so much. Who here was told these things as a child? No one.
As you were saying that, I realized the thing that I've been told was that the people around me just wanted me to be happy. Like the adults, my parents, they were like, I just want you to be happy. And yeah, I don't know why I'm being there. I think
Well, and how do you get to be
that's not what
happy? How do you get to be happy? They also gave you instructions for how to be happy, either verbally or not. What were the instructions to be happy?
Yeah, so make sure I have a nice income and a nice car and a nice house and a nice partner and nice life.
Yeah.
And
because I just want you to be happy.
And even the word nice, Millicent, has a lot of adjectives inside of it, the instructions. So what does it mean for a car to be nice? For a man to be nice? And there are huge constructs about, they are hidden, they are implicit, of how life is supposed to be. In my case was to be a doctor, because my brain worked really well. And so I'm surely going to be a doctor because that's what it means, and to have success and to have money. And each one of you has these constructs of what people expected you to be in life. And that could be like be a doctor or have a nice car, which could mean like an expensive big car, or a house with a lot of bedrooms and a backyard or a swimming pool or whatever. And this is also part of the journey, is to discover what are those structures and how are they running through your life and through your choices.
Yeah, and I want to tie to where I came from with Aurora is, when you have this image of this is what a nice life looks like, and I have to fit into a nice life because I should be happy, I should please my parents or whatever. And then you have this constant thing inside of you that has another drive, but it cannot be there. It's a constant running against an inner wall of, something's wrong with me because I should want that. I want that, but I don't. And what's wrong with me? So there's a constant inner conflict going on because who you are was not encouraged. You weren't encouraged to be who you are. As a young children, they have the stardust character. They still dream. They have these amazing dreams for a better world. And these dreams get eroded away. They get brutally crushed at times. And you have experienced it in one way or another. So it is so much easier to believe the stories of who you are in terms of not good enough, in terms of you're just not good enough to be a doctor, for example, or you're just a failure. You don't have a pension plan, or you don't have a big amount of money in your account, well, then you're a bad person. Or you don't have 10,000 clients, well, you're not good enough. And it's so much easier to believe in these stories about ourselves where we're not good enough. As women, I've experienced a lot of women that have these stories that really limit, the limiting stories about yourself. And it's easier to believe them than those empowering stories of people that can actually see you without even knowing you. It's and to let that in is really also opening the heart, and that can then can come out from your heart. It's a cross-pollination amongst women. So this will be also like, that might be a struggle for you. It might be really hard for you to let that in. So the invitation is to let your heart break open with that, to let it break, to really go fully into that fear of letting it in. And make it visible and show the woman, like, let's stop pretending we're not scared. Yeah, and let that heart break in this group, that it can rearrange itself into the shape that it's born to be. A beating heart that is unique.
What I'm also getting from your sharings since the beginning is that not only women have been sex slaves in modern culture, but also their power to create. It's this ability to be creation was channeled into modern culture, and like a rental without being a rental, because the price was bigger than what you were receiving for it. And this journey will be about that also, about taking it back. Like you were sharing, Aye. You have been writing to these big companies and using your creativity for that. And somehow I feel a lot of joy that your body started speaking and saying, no, I'm done with this. And this is about taking it back and putting it in service of who you are. Because there's, to someone to be able to write and to create, to be companies like that, there has to be a lot of creative power. And you are already sourcing it. So now you're just going to shift the focus to yourself and to what you really want to create. And I think that all of you in some way have done this also, with your ideas, with your impulses, selling them out like it wasn't yours.
Yeah, it feels safer to be small and have the power of choosing invisibility when I can or want to, than to have this constant force of being loud and seen, or yeah, because then it's easy for people to throw stones, and sometimes, yeah, I can be really strong and centered against that, and other times I become one of the pile of stones that crumble on the ground. So
Aurora, and I hear you saying that it is easier to hide. And my question is for which part of you, because I don't believe that it is easier for your being. I think that your being is in a lot of pain.
Yeah, for my box, it's easier to hide and be part of modern culture and play that game, and yeah, and for my being, trying to navigate the world with my box.
I'm glad you're here and that the pain of your being is becoming bigger.
Mm.
I'm really happy that you're here.
You know, I've noticed something which is part of a woman's survival strategy, and it was for long enough mine, which was to focus on the stones. It's focusing on the rocks that are being thrown, or focusing on the problem that other people might have with me, be it my partner, be it my sisters, be it my parents, and just keep focusing on, oh my God, is someone else not okay with what I'm doing? And what I've discovered is the good news is you can just stop that. It's like, you know, it's like you're facing the stone throwers and you just turn around, you just walk a different direction. You just walk your path. You don't have to keep putting your creative energy into the low drama. You just take it back to yourself and you create. You don't have to keep focusing on the low drama. It's that simple. And it frees up so much energy for your life. And I get it. It's been a super survival strategy to keep focusing on other people's problems with me, because then I don't have to create, or I didn't have to create. Then I didn't have to get killed. Then I didn't have to make myself visible. Then I didn't have to know what I was really wanting. But also the pain, it's a big price to pay. You pay with your life for that. Your life energy keeps going to, where is there a problem in my life? Where am I a problem? And yeah, let's practice shifting the attention really away from that and shifting it to what you want to create. And that is where your project is like a baby, no matter how big or small it is. It could be, my project is to sit for 5 minutes every morning, or my project is to get to know what my purpose is in every month, whatever. Like it doesn't have to be a big or a small project, but that project and that commitment will help you change your shape and change the shape of your being because of that necessity. And that will be the force. It's like a baby that initiates you into motherhood. It brings forth another part in you. Like that commitment can help you walk through these doors that were locked for you before because you were scared, or because you were so used to place your attention on what you are not, or to look at what's missing, or to look at who has a problem with you. All of these energy sucking artificial problems, they can fall away because you will know, or you will have a peace. You know, it's just once, even if it's one straw, and you cling to it and you let it pull you out of the swamp that you're so used to. And I find it really fascinating that that's possible.
It's a very powerful spark calling creating is more powerful than the present, and I will share it here in the chat.
Thank you.
Because it did. Yeah.
Because it did.
It did help me a lot at a precise moment, and I go back to it once in a while.
Yeah, thank you, Julia. You just spoke totally from what I'm experiencing. And seeing that people don't want you to go, they put even another problem on you, and then this feeling guilty, not wanting to deal with it. Just walk away. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Thank you.
And the walking away doesn't even mean you have to walk away from these people. It just means you put your attention somewhere else. You change your attention. Yeah. I want to play with that to really focus attention. It'll be a lot about intention. Like as a woman and creatress with the force of creation that you have, and that a lot of it you may have been using unconsciously, you have a power to create energetically. And the energetic creation has a lot to do with your intention. And we'll use that also, like the power of intention. And the power of intention is super potent when you're clear. And that is what your anger is for, again, to be super clear. And then there's a magic in, like, you prepare yourself to have the clarity, and then the intention is clear, and then it can happen. Yeah, doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything for it, but you can really create energetically. It's part of the creation process.
It is an extra layer, the hidden layer that you are not seeing. So there's this way of creating of, I will do this, I will set some steps, I'm going through the steps, I will reach out to people and source the things that I need. And then there's this part that Julia was just sharing, this energetic part, which is to source the energetic space and feed it. And this is where the project will start getting roots in the material world. And this starts from this energetic space, with using the intention and your feelings and that question that I was telling you about. What is my purpose? Why am I doing this? And keep on bringing the aliveness to it. It's organic. It will shape itself. The more you answer the question, the more it will get this form that is already in you.
Briar, I would love to hear your voice. What's alive in you?
Yeah. A lot is alive in me. I'm feeling it's kind of like coming in big waves, coming and going, but just immense joy that I said yes to the offering of this space, for one. Then what's really landed for me is this. Let me find it one moment. The fact that we're creating unconsciously, believing we're not creating. And for me, when I heard you are a creator at all times, and I can feel the sadness come up when I hear that, and I let that inside me and acknowledge that I'm a creator at all times, I'm like, shit, yes, I am. And yeah, it feels like, divine intervention to be here, that this space was created by you both and that you're all here. And I have this fire inside me, and I'm scared, but I'm going to be arrogant, that when I heard Dominique say that I have a metal rod inside myself that keeps me, and that I'm here and committed and I have integrity, and I stand for something. And I was like, yes, I do. There was no doubt when I heard that. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel so glad and so energized to be here. Yeah. And my stomach keeps getting hot. So hot. Yeah. So that is what is alive in me, Yulia. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for sharing.
What Prior just did, and you may not be aware of it, Prior, is that you brought the team together with your sadness, and then you inspired the team with your joy. And it's a beautiful place to be, and it's an honor to see this happen. It's alchemy. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see your sadness, Sonia.
And you seem to have felt sad too, Katarina. It looks like you swallowed that. And I invite you to try out, I feel sad to see your sadness.
It's a mixed feeling. There was joy and it connected to my sadness of swallowing sadness.
My invitation is to really go onto the new map of sadness, where sadness is just sad. And I can be glad that Sonia is sad, or I can be also sad that Sonia is sad. And it's none of them is right or wrong. And that's where you could hit your thought where about sadness, because after all, you should be glad that that she's. I don't know whether that's in you, but this connection that if I like something that someone's doing or it touches me, then I'm glad. And you could experiment to go really onto the new map of sadness. I'm sad that you're sad. It doesn't make it a problem. It just means that you're touched in your sadness. You feel sad. Another thing that really matters to me in terms of next women's culture creation and being in this team in the context of next women's culture is that there is no hierarchy. So yes, Sonia and I are the space holders, the main space holders, but you are also a space holder. And so it's really not a class or something, it's being together on our edges. And so if you have an impulse, you bring it, and there's no apology for bringing something. There's only rapid learning with each other. Something works in the space, something doesn't. Let's find out. Let's live on the new map of feedback and coaching with each other, of finding out how this goes. If this culture would already exist in this, next culture in a way always needs to be reinvented. So we reinvent it by everyone showing up fully with what is here for her. And sometimes it can be stuckness, sometimes it's an anger or a fear or a feeling or an emotion, and to not censor yourself would be the invitation, that you play full out with us. And when I say that, there's no pressure in that. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to show up from where you are at.
I'm really up for that, because I think sometimes I sit back and wait for like instructions and, you know, for something to happen, and it, you know, it's really like dulls the space for me. And yeah, I want to be more, I intend to be more engaged. And yeah, and I'm curious about where you're at, Dominic. I feel
Go,
like we haven't heard from you.
go, Aurora. This is flowing
You would
energy
notice
also.
all
Go.
um, well, I'm not actually feeling terribly well today. I've got the flu, so my energy is not great. But I was kind of pondering what was said to me and how lovely it was said, and something about being big, but he felt like he was big in a sort of gentle and warm sort of way. And what I usually get is I'm big and harsh and aggressive and terrifying. So I was just, that's where I'm at. I'm just pondering about that difference. So what is it that I'm now showing that Bora could pick up? Because, and I think I was reflecting that to you, Julia, the other day, that as a child, I think I had a lot of joy. But I attracted a lot of negative energy because of it, a lot of male sexual energy. And so it's something I'm trying to kind of understand about being big in a good way, and being big in a way that is that I can manage for myself, rather than having feedback from other people. I mean, it's not that I don't want the feedback, but having negative feedback, like you are too big, you are too loud, you are too aggressive, you are too harsh, you don't speak in a good way, which I seem to get a lot of. And for me, it's just like, getting to the point to say, well, tough, those are my spots. And but also kind of, not wanting to antagonize people. So how do I manage my spot without removing them and still being in my power and in relationship?
And Dominic, there is nothing that you can do about being big. It's just who you are. It's even without speaking, you are this huge rock, a huge warm rock in the space. And it's palpable with no words. And start noticing from where those feedbacks are coming from. Who is telling you that you are too much? Yeah, explore that. That's the invitation.
Yeah, thank you. I will.
I just want to say that I find it amazingly inspiring to be with you all. Yeah.
Thank you. I've noticed this strange, in a way, phenomenon, but when I have that more and more, when you say that, I get all warm and tingly in my womb space. It's like my womb is, the more I spend with women in these spaces, my womb is coming alive and just gives me this information of, yes, and aliveness. It's really precious.
Also noticing how there's so much sadness in the space, and how sadness is weaving the next line in the script. And yeah, it's a new experience for me to have this much sadness in the space, and go with that, and where is it leading to? And the love that is present.
I want to mention what I tried to say earlier, and I think it might have got lost, but the love that, in a way, Aurora, I saw you flow love by asking Dominique. So you took a stand for holding space and flowed energy to Dominique so she could speak. And it is really elegant. I appreciate that you did that in an elegant way of, you notice and then you ask, and then the energy can flow there. I had noticed and I was waiting for the energy to flow there, and you did it. So that is a way of being together also.
Yeah, and this makes me connect to this that I've been noticing, that I refrain myself so much from sometimes sharing what I'm seeing or speaking out, because I'm in this fear of being on the saving people. And that from the past years, I went from being this gentle person that will support, or from the heart, I think, and to really stopping myself from doing that, because I have the story that I'm saving people, and I really want to not go back, but connect again to this gentleness that is here.
I already can feel in the space now what we say, and the atmosphere, and what is kind of, just going on. I just had this impression, or I don't know how to put it into words, that it's already an alchemistical process we are waving together. I feel, because this openness, and I don't know, I don't want to explain because I can't. Just want to mention that when I hear some of you are here speaking, something is moving, yeah, and I get goosebumps.
Alchemizing pain into love. It's the name of a podcast that I'm creating.
I have some fear that that I want to be held accountable to take this will and energy out into the world, not just to have it as some kind of emotional ruminating that I do online. I don't know how to do that, because I it would be amazing if we could be here in person, and then that's not possible. And so I call upon all of you for possibilities with that.
And Aurora, this is what Yuli was talking about, the sword. And this space is not meant to be comfortable or for us to feel nice and warm. It's to go to the edge, and that requires the sword. And to make to ask the questions that are there, and that in another moment we would not dare to ask because we are afraid of saying what we are seeing. And this is what this space is also about, especially that. And moving to a new thought map of what it means to be on each other's team. And right now we are sharing a space of deep connection through the sadness. And it has this gentle quality, it's warm, it's liquid, and it's like, yes, I'm relaxing. My body, the tensions, they are relaxing in the space. And this is being on each other's team. And then there's this place where I look at you, at all of you, and each one of you, and you just know where the bullshit is, and you bring your anger in and you say it. And that's uncomfortable. And that's also being in each other's team. Because what normally happens is that women play nice around each other because they are afraid to say what they are seeing, so they don't dare to speak. And this is not about that. This is about calling it out and saying, what are you doing? What is going on? You had this commitment. What happened that you are not holding on to your commitment?
I
Yes,
like it.
thank you. And I have to add something, or I want to add something about, this is not a training space for just the 2.5 hours that we meet every week. The real training will happen in your project with your intention, your purpose in your everyday life. And that means you will have to feel some fear consciously to do the next thing that your box just doesn't want to do, else you would have done it already. So I'm here by your side so that you can go beyond your box's comfort zone in your everyday life, in the world out there. And that is where feelings work becomes applicable to your life. This is what you've been training for with all this training that you've done till today. And now it's about bringing it out into the world. So yes, I'm a yes, Aurora, for your proposal of being by your side for your accountability also. Thank you for naming
And
it.
your team too.
And before closing the space, is there anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, I'm bringing the intention into this space, into this journey of not making this a space of being angry against, but using my anger to really source my project and but not being angry against other people that did, and not being angry at men. It's a woman's space, and I see the clarity and the quality and how much this will be empowering for me and for each other. And it's not a space where I bring the intention to be separate from men or from anyone else.
Thank you, Katarina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then this is it for tonight. We're taking off next week at 7 o'clock New Zealand time. And yeah, for those of you who aren't in yet, think about it, get in touch. And yeah, say if you need anything.
Just out of curiosity, because I somehow would like to know, in which places are we? I'm actually in Berlin and it's morning. So where are you located?
I am in Portugal and I will soon be moving to Bali.
I'm in Marseille, France at the moment, but traveling around.
I'm in New Zealand.
I'm in New Zealand.
I'm also
in
in New
Brisbane.
Zealand.
And I'm in Brisbane, Australia.
And I'm in Melbourne, Australia.
Oh. Oh, I love it.
Around the
With many
globe.
time zones.
Yeah, there's many places.
I will go now.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next
Sonia,
week.
I
Thank
don't
you.
and
Bye.
like